Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you for joining us today. It's an interesting day in 3D, isn't it? Um, we've had our pull into 3D lately, haven't we? And it will continue, no doubt, in a very interesting way to be observed over the next period of moments. Since we're not speaking of time so much right now. So, yeah, this morning we decided that we were going to inaugurate ourselves into the 5D paradigm. And I'm just gonna admit it out loud. It's not easy. It really isn't easy. And here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen as we move forward in these physical bodies um, that are very much aligned with and attached to and living in and part of the paradigm of 3D. We're just so accustomed to. Um, Things are going to happen. There's going to be loss. Someone's going to die. Someone you know might be in an accident. You might get sick. Um, tragedies will happen. Disasters. Um, it's just going to be there. And at the same time, we will be navigating, shall we say, through the presentations, let's call them presentations of 3D. And you just look around right now and go, oh, right, it's a presentation. And observe it. And then, if you're able, you shift back into this now, right here. This now, right here. And I personally think nodding the head is very useful for several reasons. One of them, it's a yes to you. The second thing is it's a yes to your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve regulates your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic. So a nice little nod kind of eases up the tension in the back of the cranium, especially if you engage in a breath while you do it. So today we're going to just kind of outline our track through this process. I'm going to just point out a few things that we've talked about, but I'm going to put them all in one list. Maybe I missed a couple things, but this is what I came up with this morning. And here we are observing 3D. And how it presents to our brains, our nervous system, and our senses. And what's the most beguiling part of it? It's continuity, or let's say it's presentation of continuity. Certain things present as very solid and unchanging, and they are changing, and things are moving, and there's space in between the atoms, et cetera, et cetera. But the simulation, the presentation is solidity, and it's very comforting, isn't it? So let us take comfort in that part so that we're not navigating through a torrent of moving particles, much probably like what was happening in LA, in a very aggravated presentation. And, our our intent for um, interconnectivity in rebuilding lives and connections and homes and businesses, let us just keep that in our thoughts. And there may be other presentations that we have to attend to throughout the year. And when we have extra energy, we do that. Okay, track the 4.5 in between. So here's what happens. You're pulled into 3D. Seriously, you're intending 5D, and you're in two realities at once, and it's tough. It's going to make you feel tired or off or maybe even sick or cray cray or uncertain or or the feeling that I've had in the last couple of weeks has been like the bottom drops out because there's an extension that happens with our consciousness. We're pulled into 3D, and yet we've already shifted to 5D. So just know that that 4.5 in between is not easy. And if you make the journey into it through meditation or through some shamanic journeying, et cetera, be very aware and be very conscious as you track through it and begin to dissolve your agreements with some of the features in that 4.5 in between, because some of those features are really not always working for the good of all. So, we want to make sure that we're not unconsciously participating, as all humans are. They don't even know it. Okay, thirdly, beautiful beings, attend to your physical vehicle. It's going to go, what? It's going to not understand why it's so tired or it feels off. So attend to the physical vehicle in whatever way you can. What's really interesting is that there are some uh, other beings out there who are assembling some really, really good little reels that are attending this. I kind of have my little take on it, and they have their take, but they're saying, you might your food situation might change, like simple. You might need animal protein, you might not, but maybe you don't want as many spices or sauces or creams or sugary things, feed the body, attend to the physical vehicle. It's probably good to find that way to engage with it through, walking, workouts, weights, just something that says, okay, look, I know you're here and I'm going to attend to you to keep you as healthy as possible. And of course, there's, different people need different supplementation, you know, um, can't always eat everything that our body needs at our age. So, um, there's plenty of information. There's plenty of beautiful, um, you know, health advisors out there who could probably tune in for you. And if you know how to muscle test, well, there you go. Muscle test. Okay, really, really, really important is if you're taking the ride through 3D, you have to be on your intuitive motorcycle or car or whatever. The minute you get that little click through of something, maybe I should, or don't go there, or probably but listen to it. Just pause for a moment when you get it, pause. And then if you can ask, is this okay to do? And you get a no, you don't do it. We're really going to need that. And it's going to come in many formats. It could come in the format of don't say that to somebody. It could come in the format of what you read. And I'm going to really advise that to the best of your ability, stay away from things that are, at least visually, physically violent and things like that. Skip over, and then keep tracking back to the more nurturing aspects of reality to the best of your ability. Sometimes you're reading a mystery novel and there's things in it, but sometimes you can just skip over the details, right? Breathe. And this is one that I have to remind myself of constantly. Just, and you're allowed to sigh as well. Sighing is a way to beautifully express stress and grief without going into a full representation of that. So breathing and sighing could be really helpful. And then nod your head like, yeah, and I'm here now. Utilize your spiritual hacks. You know what they are. If you don't, go look at the videos. Soften your reality with kindness. And it can be just the tone in your voice. I know when we get in a hurry and we're multitasking, there is that possibility of being like that. And again, it comes back to that pause. How could I say this kindly? Breath in. Hey, would you be so kind as to, remember to pick up your clothes or wash your dishes when you're done. And you have to soften with kindness on yourself as well, right? You have to speak and think with yourself with kindness. Okay, and then there's the days when 3D kind of gangs up on you or us or whatever. So that's when you need to shift to gratitude. And you look around and you can be grateful for 3D. And it's interesting to be grateful for something and to be attached to something, right? There's a difference there. Gratitude has a little bit more let go in it. Attachment is a little bit more grabby into 3D. It sachets you into 3D. So that's interesting to think about. Because we know that the 20th spiritual hack is non-attachment, and it is tough because the paradigm exists for attachment to 3D reality, consistency. We depend on it. Get up in the morning. We're not floating around in some other reality. We're here. So that then is our call to shift in the way that we are able to 5D. And I find it's easier to do it for others sometimes. And sometimes it's just a moment of going inward. And again, that slight nod and that shift. And sometimes that requires compassion. You know, it's there's sympathy, empathy, and compathy is what I call it, or compassion. And sympathy is a little, oh, I'm sorry. And empathy is like, oh God, I really feel what you're feeling. And compassion is my heart is there with you and registering presence with you. And that one's a little bit more 5D. The other the other ones are okay. But for your health, being a compath is a little bit easier on the emotional vehicle than being an empath. And I know, I'm telling you, my empathy was just raging, as I just even glanced at the pictures of the fires and knowing, what that involved for some beautiful humans, children, people who serve the community, et cetera. It's a big deal. Continues to be a big deal. So we will probably put a little bit more attention there today in our meditation because more winds are coming today. I don't know, maybe for the next 3 days. So, let's see what comes through for us to share. And then the last one is really the hallmark of 5D, isn't it? It's interconnectivity. And it's what we have been practicing now for 3 years is interconnectivity on the quantum. That beehive network of crystalline 5D. And so sometimes I've been in situations what I find where I practice a lot of this, interestingly enough, is on the tennis court because it's competitive and mistakes are made and it's teamwork and you're playing against people. And sometimes I have it together to just put the network of interconnectivity on the whole court so that everybody plays well and our intuition is there and acknowledgement either side when there's a good shot or a good serve. So you may have situations in your work life, in your communication life, in your social media life where interconnectivity is key. And how can you say something that not only inspires that person, but maybe goes beyond that? Maybe goes beyond that. So, yeah, take a picture of this and have it handy. Have it handy. And you can always go back and watch this and grab a screenshot of this. So we are going to move now into, our waveform meditation. And we're going to just open to see what comes through from the quantum and participate as 5D beings for the good of all. So just allow your presence to shift into that experience of waveform, releasing your attention on the particles. And we shift to gratitude that we've all shown up. Made it a priority. We've shown up, we're here, we're now. And then we open our hearts. This is a very safe place to open your heart. And then we begin that process of just as individuals connecting into the field, our crystalline field. And reach out to one another. Find each other on the crystalline grid. And then find your love, love, love. And disperse it throughout the grid. Send it to each and every individual soul presence being. And let it permeate through our grid. Not only as an anchor, but as a cleanser. And as we do this, it shifts us into the 4.5D in between. And we're now going to use that love, love, love and allow our presence to push out a little bit and create a bigger influence. Cleansing, purifying, engaging as 5D presence. And there is one particular focus now. It's like a pulse. It's like a weight, a pulse, undefinable, but attention goes there now as an act of clearing. Breathe. And it's a non-productive influencer of the quantum. It's like a stop gap. So we're just going to acknowledge it with our nods and our presence, our power to observe without engaging. The power of 8+1, very powerful here. Listen to your exhale here. And pulsing some love, love, love. And then love, 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 love. Pulsing, observing. And this presence does not know where else to be. And we suggest migrate to 5D. And I'm beginning to see a little bit of something interesting, a little crystalline light come through. Little crystalline light bleed through now. You might be able to have a sense of it. Okay, yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, there's an infiltration now of 5D and 6D crystalline. It's a pathway through the in between. It's it's there for you. And it's there for the easiest way to say it is there for the up leveling. To provide more ease for those who are engaged in the up leveling. And up leveling is in some ways requires levitation. So it's not as if you can bend your knees and push off. It's using your vibrational power to lift, elevate, up level into a higher frequency speed, a higher frequency speed. So because we've done this now, we're going to just turn the dial. I feel to turn it to the right, because that is clockwise. So you're going to turn the dial just enough to anchor in this to your 3D. And just perhaps take a view to your life right now and see, feel, observe if you can infiltrate that interconnectivity web of crystalline matrix into some part of your reality that you are living out. Very good. Very good. A lightness of being. Up level, up level, up level. There you go. Good. Good, good, good. And you become the presentation of 5D. You gradually become the paradigm of 5D. It's a paradigm. Configuration, organization, sublime, sublime. Mm. And they're telling me that we can't fix things in 3D. Looking, of course, at the bigger picture. We can just provide and strengthen and evolve the pathway through the in between to 5D. And some are called, and some choose. They feel the power, the empowerment to choose 5D. Mhm. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So, and I'm going to gently leave you in this state. Breathe it. And engage with it as you are able, as you're called. And we send a little prayer out now that there are many sweet reminders that come to you throughout the day. And that your intuition channels are open and strong. And your receptors are reading the signals correctly. And that your physical bodies are able to handle the up leveling. We send prayers and beautiful frequencies to your physical beings, your physical vehicles. And we like to say in this household, we have 25-year-old knees, and it's working. It's working. So you're creating this manifestation. Might as well make it exactly how your heart is called to call it out. All right, beautiful beings. Blessings for your attention. With and engaging with our I see immortality. And your work for the all. Just blessings to you. Namaste.